Bob Maloney from MyMMAnews.com. I'm talking to Justin Carter. He's got a kickboxing fight coming up in Allentown at USKA. And Justin, it's a pleasure to talk to you for the first time. Tell me how you're feeling physically, beat up, little nagging injuries. What's going on with your body?
I'm getting over the flu, Other than that, I feel good. My body, my body feels normal. I always say, you always get, knots and stuff. But I always say if I can walk and bounce, I'll fight. It's never really a problem. Injuries have never been a problem for me.
Since this is the first time you and I talked, I want to learn a little bit about you and the people, too, since our first interview. What was the draw for you to get into mixed martial arts? I mean, some people, you have the people that have the wrestling base. Some people just join mixed martial arts because it's like, how did you get involved in competing and training in mixed martial arts?
I'll give you the short version. I'll keep this pretty smooth. So pretty much I was on a date with someone, and I was watching Fast 7, and there was a lady in a red dress. I was obsessed with that lady. So when I went to school, I Googled her, and turned out that was Ronda Rousey. I didn't know who she was at the time, but I seen all her highlights. So, I just started watching them day by day, and then eventually I became obsessed, and I just she was the only, to the point where the school had to call me in and ask me, who is this chick? Why do you keep Googling her? And then, I started training. I found a gym that was near me, and I started training the basics. And ever since then, I just took off. And I was just, every time I seen her fight, I became obsessed and wanted to fight.
That's awesome, because I'm sure she's heard that from a lot of women, but to hear that from a male, she probably has, but I'm sure she would appreciate that. We're going to share it on Twitter, and we're going to tag Ronda Rousey. I hope she sees that and likes it, at least gives you a little like. Yeah. So you're 4-1 as a mixed martial artist. You're taking a kickboxing fight, which I think is, listen, I think all amateur competitors, mixed martial artists, should take grappling, take kickboxing whenever the opportunity is right. So tell me a little bit about your thought process. You're 4-1 as an amateur. You still may take another amateur fight. You're close to becoming a pro. What was and do you talk about this with your coaches too? About, okay, I've been doing MMA. I'm going to take a kickboxing fight now.
Yeah, they know. Zach Mikowski, he knows that. He knows my goal. He knows what I want to do. He knows I don't just want to go pro. I want to go pro, and I want to have the resume to say, look, all these top guys that all these guys are promoting, I already beat them. I already fought them already. I feel like I'm doing better. I'm making progress, but I still have a lot more work to go. Possibly 6-7 more MMA fights, 6-7 more kickboxing fights, and I'll be good to go. I haven't taken damage in any of my fights, so let's continue doing that.
Well, how old are you now, Jared? Because it didn't say on Tapology. I couldn't see how old you are. So what is your age?
Oh, I'm 20. I just turned 23 on the 13th.
23. Hey, belated happy birthday, 23. Like you said, you're still young in this sport. Now you're taking on Jared Jones. He's also, listen, I talked to Jared too about this fight, and he also has MMA in his future. You already have MMA fights, but I know that you've gotten a chance to look at some of his film. He's a shifty. He's a nice athlete. He's very talented as well. Tell me about this fight. How's it going to go?
So yeah, that's very true. He's definitely an athlete. He trains out of a good gym. I heard he trains out of NPR. I know all those guys. Pretty much, I feel like he started. I watched his last fight. The guy he fought, no disrespect to that guy, wasn't even near of my caliber kind of fighter. He was walking directly into that too. Jared's a shifty southpaw. He's fast. He throws good straights. He counters with a good hook. But he went a little wild. He goes wild at times, and he leaves himself open. If he does that against me, against a guy that's pretty experienced, I've been on the mats with tons of different fighters, UFC, Bellator, amateur, advanced semi. So I don't think he's going to be able to do any of that versus me. I think it'll be a good, hard fight, especially because he's a boxer. So I don't have to necessarily worry about too much about the kicks. He doesn't utilize any knees, so I don't really have to worry about that either. I think I'll walk him down, and he's tough. So if I don't get the finish, it'll definitely be a fight of the night. Everyone will be back and forth going crazy.
All right. Well, listen, Justin Carter, once again, thanks for giving us a few minutes on Fight Week. Give some shout outs to your team. Listen, you've had 5 MMA fights, so this is like becoming normal for you, fight camps, and you need some support to keep getting in there. Throw out some love.
Yes, sir. I want to shout out to my team, Finishes MMA. I want to shout out Zach Mikowski. I want to shout out, Brittany Elkin, Matt Santos, and his girlfriend Tati. They both have a fight. Matt's about to beat up Christian Bolvi. Tati is about to beat up Mariah Castro. So shout out to them and good luck to them. Shout out to my kickboxing coach right now, Joel. Shout out to martial artist. Shout out to him. Shout out to Zach and JM. So shout out to all those guys at my gym. You know, they all just, you know, keep me focused and keep me with my head on tight and keep me focused on what the goal is and where I need to be. So thank you. And I want to say thank you to my family and everyone who's been supporting me.
Fantastic, man. I think this is fight of the night. I think highly of both of you. I think both of you have really nice futures in professional mixed martial arts, and it's a pleasure talking to you. I will see you ringside. I'll be there doing some post-fight interviews, and it was a pleasure talking to you, my man. Best of skills.
Thank you.